Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 1st. So first of the month, 6:24 right now. We got market opening up shortly in about 6 minutes. So I'm not in any positions right now, but these are currently the active positions running for YM. We have this position over here at 5:32, one at 6 o'clock, and then the next one's gonna be at 7:10. For gold over here, we have a couple entries coming up as well. So we had an entry over here at 420. It was against momentum. So this one pretty much ran through already. 420 was a 2040. This one hit full TP. This was a pre-market move for gold. The next one is at 630. So this is one I'm going to be possibly looking to get into. See, the thing with these pre-market moves are that the volatility is really low, so I don't really like them as much because, I mean, obvious reasons, but and the next possible entry is here at 630 and then 647. We got news today too, so it's something to pay attention to. Um, 721, 722. That's about it. For why I'm over here, we got one at 710 and 752. All right, so trade's still running right here. This one's running and this one's running as well. The gold trade over here already hit full TP right there for 40 points. The next entry is going to come up right here, 630. It's going to be with the direction of momentum. So let me check my copy real quick. For some reason, my Apex account's disconnected. Reconnect them. A little bit of a connection issue here a little earlier. All right, we're good. All right, so the upcoming entry right here for gold, 630. So here's the problem with this entry at gold. It's going to happen after market open. So it's going to be a little tricky. I don't know if it's one that I'm looking to really take because I don't like taking trades around, manipulation time, which is typically market open time. But if you guys do want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys. If you guys are looking to take the breakout for YM, the breakout for open, the breakout for open is going to be a buy entry. So if you guys are looking to take the original market open breakout for YM, it's going to be a buy. For those of you who are looking to take it, the next entry for me for YM is going to be a little later. For my algo doesn't have opportunity for entry until a little later, so I'll be following. But if you guys want to take this entry here, it's going to be for a buy once market opens up here at 630. So I'll follow it for you guys, but I'm not going to be taking this one, of course. I'm taking my trades based off my algo here. My algo is telling me that the next entry is going to happen right here at 710. So the entry right here looks like it's about to hit. I was going to get into this entry at 6 o'clock. Like I said earlier, this was going against the original position, which was over here at 532. But it looks like it's about to hit full TP. This one here had a 70, or no, sorry, it had a 76.47% win ratio. So this one had a pretty nice win ratio. Let's see. It's about a hit right there. So the win ratio is going to go up even more. So it's about a hit right there. The reason why I didn't like this position as well is that sometimes it runs into market open. So I don't want to get caught in this position. There you go, full TP on that. So this trade over here, you can see over here at a 76.47% win ratio. Profit factor was 6.5. This test right here was for this specific entry. I was really tempted to get into this, but like I said, I didn't want to go against this position right here. This thing can flip right back up. So we got market opening up in about 2 minutes. This thing could easily just flip right back up because the previous position here at 532 is still running, right? So this one's still running. If the breakout pushes back up for 50 points, I mean, it's probably going to go right back up and hit the target for the previous running position right here. So the buy might be pretty good over here for the breakout on open if you guys are looking to take it. Because if that's the case, 50 points right here to the upside. It's going to hit the initial breakout, plus it's going to also push for the entry over here that happened pre-market. So if you guys want to take that, it's going to be right there. I will be looking to continue on with this. But my next entry is going to be gold right here at 630. So gold right here at 630. It's going to be for a sell, 40.20. See, the thing is, I don't like taking trades on open because we get this like crazy volatility spike usually. All right, so market is now open. The breakout pretty much pushed up right there. It's on its way to full TP. There you go, full TP right there for the breakout. It did exactly what I just told you guys was going to happen, right? Full TP on the breakout right there for 50 points, if you guys caught that. And then it's pushing up to finish the target over here for the previous position at 532. So great work right there. If you guys caught that breakout, full TP right there, 50 points. I'll be watching over here for gold. See, the thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna take this gold entry. I might wait for the next one. I don't like the 6 o'clock candle because you see how the volatility here is pushing up very high. There's a lot of like random volatility at market open. I try to avoid trades at market open. I try to get in pre-market or mid-session. But if you guys want to take this gold position, if you looked on the Discord, I did post this trade over here. This trade is coming up right here at 6:30. It's right here, my target entry. It's supposed to be with sorry, it's supposed to be against. I gotta do a better job of this because I kind of mixed up the directions, but it's actually against. So this right here is a position running for gold right now. Not in this position right here. Like I said, I don't really like taking positions right at open. Let me check the stats real quick. Yeah. See, I don't like this because you get this market balls. I mean, this can easily turn back around and come right back below, but I don't like taking trades like this because the opening candle is usually there's a lot of manipulation on that opening candle. So I'm glad that I skipped the trade there because you can see how price got manipulated to the upside. The next entry that's coming up is going to be at 710. Or there's one at 647 actually. I don't know why. Oh, because I'm looking at the wrong screen. My bad. Yeah, so since I decided to skip this one right here, the next entry is going to be at 647. If you look at the Discord over here at gold, I might have to keep like a different tab for this because, like I said earlier, it gets kind of confusing because I have so many entries that are up here. There's technically more trades that are running for the 630, like a bigger target. So the targeted entry that I had right here was at 630, but there's a bunch of 630 entries right here. So there's technically more opportunity for price to keep pushing down. So this one over here had a bigger TP stop loss. Right here at 630, it had a 35.70 actually. So this trade technically is still running if you use a different parameter here. It had a lower win rate, just slightly lower, but all these trades over here are at 630. So I'm not really looking to get into this one. Like I mentioned, I don't like getting into the ones that are at market open. This one was right on the market open candle. The next opportunity for my target entry is going to be right here at 647. Let me check YM real quick, 'cause I don't think I have any target entries coming up for YM. This is YM right here. My next target entry is going to be at 752. So the next one up is going to be 647 for um, gold. It's going to be a 25.50 right here. So I'm going to change the stats over here. Let's see, I'll shift this over to my entry is at 647. This is gold, right? 647. And I like to use the data to my advantage. So you guys will see right now what I mean by that once I get closer to it. So let's see, 2.5. And then right here, I have the best possible setups that are coming up under the screener. The next best possible setup is going to be at 721. This is number one right here. So these are all the entries that I'm looking to take right now. It's going to be right here at 721. Wait, sorry, not 721. Actually, no, those are the better entries. Um, Again, there's just a ton of entries here. This is one of the setups that's going to come up as a 70% win ratio, but the ones down here have higher. It's an 82.35, 82.35. The next target entry is for me later. So if I don't decide to take this one right here, the next one is going to be over here at 721. But I'm going to be looking at the entry here for possible setup. Let me change the data over here real quick. There's just a lot of moving pieces here, so I mean, there's just a lot of stuff I have to look at. So I'm pulling up the data over here for this next trade, which is at 647. Let's go back to YM real quick. Okay, so YM over here, both of the trades that came up this morning, they both hit full TP. So the first trade over here, this was at 532. This one is a full TP for 90 points. And then this one over here, also a full TP right here, hit for 40 points. The next entry for YM is going to be at 710. So if you guys are looking to take this trade right here, the 710 entry is going to be at it's going to be against with a 70% win ratio. I'll update this real quick so that we can kind of see that one coming up as well. This one is going to be I don't really like this. This is not going to be my target entry. I'll mark it up for you guys, but it's not going to be my target entry. The reason for that is because it's a really wide TP stop loss. It's a 90-point TP, 45-point stop loss. If you guys want to take this, I mean, there's a lot of setups here that line up with it, but I don't like when it's super, super wide. I like to get in where it's tighter. But I'll just mark this up so that we can kind of see what the win ratio is looking like for this upcoming trade. So I'll be consistently updating my data over here. My data currently it's going to update for this next trade, which is at 710. The gold trade over here, you can see over here, pretty much just spiked up and now it's coming back down. It happens sometimes where that becomes the case. That's why I have different parameters here to identify which one is better. So let me just refresh this real quick. My algorithm is running, so there's a lot running in the background. So my algorithm sometimes gets errors. Because I have four different windows. I might just close these two because I'm not really trading NQ or ES. I'll open it in the future if I end up using them, but it's just pulling a lot of resources from my trading view. You can see over here it's taking a while to load up. But the next setup here is at 645, or sorry, 647. Strategy tester. Just want to get the numbers here to see what it's looking like. Nice. Looks like a lot of you guys here caught the breakout this morning. Talanji got it. Smith got it. Lila got it. Chris got it. Nice work, guys. You guys all killed it this morning. Ryan is asking, good morning, Sean, how to tell if it's a buy or sell when you say momentum or against. So let's go to the example over here, Ryan. So when it says with momentum, so see, for example, right here, the for this 532 trade, the entry was at the 532 candle, right? When it's with momentum, if the most recent signal is a buy signal, so look, if you just look backwards, right here, if it's a buy, if it's green and it's buy, then you take the buy. That's with momentum. Vice versa, when it's against momentum, right here, for example, see at the 6 o'clock entry, we had a buy momentum here. So if it's against momentum, you're going to take the opposite. So with momentum, if it's a buy signal, you take the buy. If it's against and it's a buy signal, you take the sell. That's the difference, right? Does that make sense? I know it's really fast paced, so it's you have to like really be watching it. The good thing is that you do have the tools, so you can follow it on your own screen. If you guys are just following the trades here, you have to be like really, really, or if you're just looking at my screen, it's, you have to be really dialed in and make sure that you don't miss because the thing is, you just have to look at the momentum before the entry. So for example, over here at 710, when this candle comes up, you're just looking at the momentum before it. So this one, you don't care about the momentum if it comes up on the actual entry candle or the catalyst candle. It's going to be whatever happened before it. That's why for me, I'm trying to anticipate, right? So for example, over here, I'm trying to anticipate this 647 candle. So here's the data for that 647 candle, guys. I have it, for some reason, my screener is like not loading up. Let me um let me check the data. I'm not sure if there's too much data on my chart right now. I have the data running between 6 o'clock and never mind. Okay, there it goes. It's just TradingView has been laggy lately. Okay, so we have all the best entries right here on my chart. Let's see yeah, the next entry is at 647. So depending on like where the momentum is for this, the entry is going to be here at 647 and it's going to be for a 2550. So I actually like this entry that's coming up. I really like this entry that's coming up. I like the spread. Spread's a lot nicer than the 4020. It's going to be a 2550. So I'm going to set up I'm going to set up my NinjaTrader real quick. I had to like preload pretty much everything on NinjaTrader because it's just and of course, I didn't preload the 2550. Crap. Okay, let me do this real quick. So I think I'll just use the 2040 and I'll just resave it as 25. Yeah, so what I did here is I have a bunch of tabs open on my NinjaTrader where I have all the settings pretty much set up already. So that's my gold. Change to my gold chart here. Same with this over here. Change this to my gold chart. Here set up. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, so I'll be looking for possible opportunity right here. This trade is going to be at the 647. It's going to be against momentum. So for example here, if we have a buy signal here that closes, for 647, I'll be taking a sell. If we have a sell signal which is active, then I'll be taking the buy. Yes, that's correct, Ryan. I only look on the 1 minute. Let's see. So you guys are asking if the entry at 630 should have been a buy. Let me check again, guys. Again, sorry if the directions here are wrong. I have to double check it. That's why I keep pulling it up right here on the thing. Last night I was just this is why I'm probably gonna need a team to help me with this stuff because it's a lot of work for me to pull up this data. Let me just re-pull this up real quick. So the entry was at 9:30. I mean, you guys can imagine like all these trades here that I pulled up, I did this all by hand. So I did this all one by one. So I pretty much logged, like 40, 50 trades, maybe more than that actually, maybe like 60 to 80 trades here. Um, Let me just do the back test real quick. Yeah, I think you guys are right. It's supposed to be with momentum. Yeah, it was. Thanks, guys, for the heads up on that one. So yeah, it was a 75% win ratio for a buy here, actually. I mean, the trade still didn't play out, but it is I mean, it looks like it would have ran longer though. So looking at this right here, it looks like it literally got right next to its target right here, and then it reversed. But it's okay because the win ratio here is obviously really high. Um, it's still pretty high, 70%. Okay, so we looked at that. Let me go back to the other settings that we have here. Thanks again, guys, for the heads up. Like I mentioned before, this is a work in progress. I need to figure out an efficient system so I'd be able to identify these entries. I also need to clean up the code because you can see here it takes a while for it to load up. Thing is, I have the backtest script over here, so it's going to be a lot quicker if I just look over here. Here, let me see. I'm just going to put the backtest script because this loads way faster. Just the backtest without the screener. Okay. This is going to be a lot quicker. You can see my data over here. It loads up pretty fast. So 2550, the entry's at 947. It's just the screener takes forever because what it does is the algorithm runs through every single trade for the past 20 trading days. So you can imagine, it's a lot of candles to go through. It's like it combs through about like 5,000 data points. So this is the entry right here for today, I believe. No, that's not the right number. It's supposed to be against momentum, 647. CP stop loss is 25, 5. There we go. Okay, so the win ratio for this trade coming up at 747 is going to be, or 647 is going to be right here at 70% win ratio. So this trade is against momentum, so it's going to be for a sell. I'll be watching here. I don't like how market here is pretty much going back and forth like this. You see. Well, the thing is, I don't really care about the price action. I just care about the momentum. The momentum here is kind of slow. That's the main thing that I'm looking at. I don't care about market structure and that stuff. I'm really just looking to see um, if this will like turn the other way for 2550. Okay, so let me see. I got this right here set up, which is going to be around like 3900 point. All right, so I got to wait for this candle here to close. It's going to close in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to look at where that price is at when it closes. I'm going to put a line there. It's going to close in about 5 seconds. I'm not going to get in right away. I'm going to put my pending order, so I'm going to wait for it. All right, the entry's at 3901.2. 3901.2.
Order submitted.
I have a pending order waiting right there, but I don't know if this will
Order
actually
submitted.
fill my order. Yeah, so it hasn't filled it yet. If it doesn't fill it anytime soon, I'm just going to cancel the order. But I have a pending order waiting right there to be filled at 3901.2. This is the entry right there. In some situations, I mean, I've been looking at this. Sometimes it doesn't come up and fill it, so I might have to get in for market, but I prefer to get in for the limit. Sometimes price just kind of sits there for a bit. Eventually it comes back and fills it. So no fill there, unfortunately. I mean, this is probably going to come down. If it comes down too far, I'm just going to cancel my order. So I'm watching it right there. Price never pulled back for the retracement. It's just too fast of a move. If you guys got in, it's currently running in profit. Again, the entry happened right there. I was hoping it'd have enough time to fill it. I'm going to cancel my order, guys. Looks like it's about to hit target. Ah, fuck me. I was just a little too slow on that one. Full TP right there, guys, though. This was the entry that I was waiting for. So like I mentioned right here, it had a 70% win ratio. It's probably going to be a bit higher. And this thing over here is straight money, right? Unfortunately, I
Order
wasn't, I
canceled.
canceled my order right there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get in on this one right there, but it did play out perfect, right? This is the setup. It was against momentum. We had the sell entry right there. So, if this is the case, I might have to just start getting in for market, but we'll see. I'll have to give it some thought. But beautiful entry right there for gold. So, for example, if you took the previous entry over here, you would have, if you would have lost that one, this one over here would have been a win. So you would have lost one, you would have made two on this. You'd be profitable for the day. So if you want to take every single entry that I mark up here, I mean, feel free. You have the opportunity to. It's just up to your preference. The next entry here for YM is at 710. The next entry for gold is at 721. So let's flip back to YM real quick. So let's go over here to YM. Entries at 710, it's gonna be against momentum. So it's gonna be against momentum right there. Entry is at 710. I already have it set up here, 910. Okay, so this is the one that I was thinking about not taking because it's too big of a move. It's not a bad move, but it's a little, it's pretty far out. And it's pretty far out in general. I gotta flip my copier back over because I was on gold. Man, this is so much work. I think in the future, well, I don't know yet, but in the future, I might just stick to one asset, guys. Trading YM gold is it's hard because there's the assets are completely different. Um, so I'm gonna see. You guys can see here, this is kind of a lot of work for me to flip between my accounts because the TP stop losses and I have like 40 accounts, so it takes me forever to kind of flip through them. Um, I mean, I'll see. I'm gonna see which asset we have, more profitability with, and then I'll probably just stick to whatever asset that is. Because I feel like I'm gonna make some mistakes if I keep doing this, going back and forth between these assets here. All right, anyways, so this trade over here at 710, this is going to be a really big move, guys. So I don't know if I'll be taking this. It's going to be against momentum. So depending on where momentum is pushing, this is a 90-point target and a 45-point stop loss. It's not like a crazy, crazy move, but yeah, it's a 90-point move. So just something to think about. Jonathan got it for 5 points. Nice work, Jonathan. So Jonathan caught that trade for gold. Paul is asking, Sean, would you be able to do a quick analysis of silver? Yeah, I mean, I could. What's the asset for silver? I could look it up actually. Silver futures, which is COMEX. If you're doing long-term investing, Paul, like you don't even need an analysis for silver because it's going to go up in the long term. I thought you're talking about if you're talking about short term. So if you're talking about short term, it's all bullish, right? I mean, even long term, it's bullish on the 1 minute, bullish on the 5, bullish on the 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour. So the thing with gold is if the dollar goes down, which it is, the dollar is weakening, gold and other precious metals are going to go up. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. If you're day trading silver, it's a different story, but it sounds like you're buying physical silver. So yeah, I mean, if you bought it at 25 ounces, I'm not expecting you to lose any money on it, bro. It's at 20, it's at 47 right now, right? So I don't think you have anything to worry about. If you got in at 40, maybe you might have something to worry about, but you're so far off that I mean, in order for you to lose money on silver, you'd have to, I mean, this thing would have to tank, right? So I think you're good. I mean, it is overextended, but the thing with precious metals is that they're going to go up because of the economy for US or just the value of the US dollar is going down. So like, for example, if you're basing it off, the fundamentals, if if the dollar is going down, then you want to invest in alternative assets, right? Precious metals, crypto, stuff like that. So I mean, you should be fine, bro. I don't see this dropping to $19 an ounce anytime soon. There'd have to be some crazy, crazy, supply crisis or not supply demand crisis, supply and demand crisis in general. But I mean, we're not going to see that, right? There's only so much silver out there that it's limited. So I think you're fine, bro. You have nothing to worry about. Yeah, but that's a good, you got a pretty good price, $25 an ounce. That's super, super cheap. Same with gold, right? Gold here is a bullish asset, so it has the same criteria. Yeah, Paul said all-time high for silver is 49.85 from the 1980s, so I'm waiting for it to hit 50. Yeah, I mean, silver is a really slow-moving asset, so it's probably going to take a while for it to get to that point. But yes, you do have a lot of room for growth. All right, so I don't have any entries here until 7:10, guys. This is the setup right here that I have marked up for YM. Um, if I do decide to take it, again, like I said, this is going to be a pretty big move for YM. It's a 90-point move. It's not necessarily a bad move, but it's a wide move. Like this trade's going to run for a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at the list of trades. So looking at the same entry right here at 7:10, my algorithm over here identifies. So it had 12 out of 17 trades. It hit target. Right, so 12 winning trades, 5 losing trades. It has a 70.59% win ratio. The average winning trade was about 2,250. Looking at the list of trades over here, the problem is I think we have news coming up. Let me check. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tricky because we do have inflation news right here at 7 o'clock. It's ISM Manufacturing PMI. So you got that coming up. That's gonna be like right before the news event or right before the entry. So 7 o'clock right here, we have high impact news. This might kind of screw with the position because obvious reasons. You don't really want to take trades that are too close to news. So if you guys want to take this right here, I'll mark it up for you guys, 7 o'clock, but I'm probably gonna wait for the next one, which is at 7:52. A little later in the session, but safer because it's away from all these news events. Yeah, we got high impact news right there at 7 o'clock. Let me check gold real quick. Um, yeah, the gold entries are a little farther down. It's at 7:21, so these might be a little better. But yeah, if you guys want to take that there, my algorithm is identifying this as a 70.59% probability of it hitting within the past 17 trading days. So I mean, it's pretty good. It's not a bad bet. It's a good bet to take. You still have, the odds are on your side if you decide to take it. It's a big trade though. Let's see, Ben said he got in at market and had some slippage. Yeah, see, that's the thing that I'm worried about, Ben. That's why I don't like getting in at market. But like what PC over here mentioned. He mentioned, when you start trading large volume, you'll probably need to only execute with market orders to get fully filled. And I agree with you too, PC. That's going to be a little bit of a problem because I'm going to be trading big size, right? The hedge fund, I'm be trading like, thousands of contracts. So it's going to be really hard to get all the accounts filled. So I might have to just take it at market, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I can still take it, but it is gonna be it is gonna be tricky, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna see how the market reacts to the news right here at 7 o'clock. If we get like a lot of volatility or whatnot, I'm probably not gonna look to take anything here really. Um, if the opposite happens, then maybe if it's like kind of flat, because then I'm gonna look for the volatility to come up a little later. See, the thing is, I'm just worried that because we're getting later into the session at 7 o'clock, 90 points is, I mean, it's a big target to hit. I'd rather go for a smaller target, but we'll see. Okay, let me just update this real quick. For some reason, my screener keeps getting this error. Refresh my chart. So Rev said that open trade on the 10-minute momentum is awesome. Yeah, it works out really well. I agree with you 100%. I don't know what's up. I don't know if it's TradingView versus my internet connection, but for some reason my screener over here, I mean, it does pull a lot of data, so that might be a problem. What I might have to do here, let's just adjust it real quick. Okay, never mind, it's good. So I'm going to adjust it anyways because we're at 7 o'clock now. So I'm going to, yeah, like I don't need this time here. Let's see, we're at 7 o'clock, so I'm going to put this to 9. There we go. So it's not pulling so much data. The problem is it's pulling so much data that it kind of lags behind. I'm gonna do it this too because we're not trading at that time anymore. So this yeah, 10. I'm just gonna pull basically an hour of data. My algorithm is just running an hour of data. Because when it runs too much data here, it gets errors because it takes forever to load, right? Because you can only imagine, like think about how many minutes are in a day? I don't know. Let me see, I'm just curious. How many minutes are in a day? 1,044. Okay, so this is what my algorithm is doing. Basically, it's doing this. So there's a 1,440 minutes in a day times 24 times, so I have 17 trades right here, right? Times 17. So every time my algorithm updates, it combs through 587,520 candles. So see how we have like 20 or 40 candles here? My algorithm right here, which gives me these numbers, is it's combing through this much data. That's why it takes like 40 seconds for my indicator to load up. Because what it's doing in the background is it's just learning. It's trying to figure out what are the best times for entry, what are the best win rates against 17 trades or 17 trading days. So this is why it takes forever for it to load sometimes, right? Because we want to have all the data here. We want to know the best exact possible time to enter the trade. Um, it's funny. I talked about this with one of the guys, one of the older traders here, Camo. A lot of you guys know Camo from like way back. He's one of the guys that started trading with me a long time ago. My algo over here, it's crazy because now that we're following like the exact times and the win rates, we realize that like the market isn't like people always talk about how the market's random, right? It's somewhat random, but for this trade, so for example, this trade at 710, right? This trade at 710 every single day hits, or it's hit 70% of the time. This is a 1 to 2 risk reward, right? This is basically this is like unicorn status because if you're trading a 1 to 2 risk reward, it's 33% win ratio, right? For you to break even for a 1 to 2, you need to have at least above a 33%. This is a 70%. So this is, if you look up here, you could even look it up here. Let me just I'll show you my ChatGPT. Because I looked this up to like kind of understand like what the so let me just we're not coming close to the trade, so I can show this to you guys right now. So here's my my chat GPT. I'm just going to show you guys what I mean by this. This is why I'm only taking trades that have above like a 65% win ratio, because the thing is like my odds of winning are very, very likely if I take a trade like that. So here's the thing. It says with a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, you don't need a super high win rate to be profitable. The math works in your favor. So basically, to break even, you need to have a 33% win ratio, right? What's considered good for a 1 to 2? 40 to 45% win ratio is solid, steady profitability if you size properly. 50% is excellent if you're compounding aggressively with that R&R. But anything above 60% is rare, like very, very rare. In this situation, this is considered like it's so rare that people typically, this is a cherry picking. Whenever you see more than 60% for a 1 to 2, this is a 1 to 2 risk reward. If you ever see more than 60%, it's usually fake. So the thing is that my algorithm is able to identify this is a 70% win ratio. That's why I'm gravitated towards, okay, I'm gonna take this entry. The trade's not going to be 100%, but if you have anything above 60%, you're basically like you're beating the market like hand over hand. That's why if you look over here at I pretty much put all the stats over here. All my entries here have above 70 to 80% win ratio. All my targeted entries have about an 80% win ratio. I might lose the trade, but if I do lose the trade, the odds are in my favor. So this kind of shows you that the market is not random. Basically, I have this here, my data telling me that at 721 every single day, there's some actor in the market trading at this time, whether it be a hedge fund, whether it be a market maker, whatever. There's somebody who's big in the market, big enough to be trading at this time at 710 to push price in a direction. And my direction here, I have it because I know that they're trading against momentum. That's why this algorithm is so powerful. I was a little more public about this previously, but I'm probably going to be more secretive about this. I don't really want to share this with the public. For you guys who are here, it's fine. What is there? There's like 30 people on YouTube. That's cool. You guys can make money with me trading this algo. But I'm not really going to make this as public. You guys have probably noticed I don't post on Instagram anymore because I don't really want to share this with like random people. If you want to use this, fine. You can follow my live sessions. We can both share it. If you guys have friends that also want to use it, I mean, feel free to invite them to our channel. But I'm not really going to put this out there. This thing is like it's way too powerful for me to share this with the public. It's crazy. But back to what I was saying earlier, these numbers here, like I don't even look at price action anymore. I don't look at price action. I don't look at support and resistance. I don't look at structure because I already have the data points here. Like for example, if this entry is coming up right here, I know there's probably going to be a resistance somewhere around this area, right? I don't care if there's resistance here because if price pushes through this area and we have the volatility in our direction, it's going to push through it. Like I'm already expecting price to break past whatever structure may be there. And that's what kind of blew that's kind of what blew Camo's mind because the thing is Camo trades structures. So he was mentioning, if like this algo would help him because instead of trading a bounce off structure, like for example, if you're trading support and resistance, instead of taking the bounce, you might have just take the break past it if that's the case. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, this has only been week one of this, so like my algorithm is just learning every single day, and I'm including more things to improve it. But this is just raw data. So the win ratio here is just based off movement. It's just based off time and it's based off movement. So basically right here, this trade at 710, I have it listed here at 710 every single day. This trade works. It doesn't stay flat. It works to some extent. So I'll be watching this here. Pretty much my algo is just going to keep combing through the data. Right now, this is going to be the highest win ratio trade. So right now at 710, this is going to be number one on the list. The next one on the list is going to be at 711 right next to it. The next one on the list right there is going to be at 721. And then the next one after that's going to be at 938. So I'll be updating this as price moves along. If you guys want to take this trade, feel free. I'm not sure if I'm going to take this yet because it's a really big move. It's a really big move and it's going to be against the it's going to be against the let me see. E710. Yeah, against. So if this is against, if this comes up and there's no momentum signal before, it's going to be a sell. 90.45. A lot is asking, can you explain what target entry means? Target entry means it's the entry that I'm targeting, right? The one that I'm actually looking to take. because there's a list of entries over here. So like obviously I'm not going to take all of them. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but I'm not going to take every single entry here. Target entry means that's the one I'm looking to take. So that's why I have these marked up. That's why we're looking at these specifically, right? So like for example, over here for YM, there's a bunch of entries here, but the target entry that I'm looking at is going to be, well, this is actually not my target entry. So you can see over here, we're looking at 710 mainly because it has a high win ratio, but my target entry is going to be later at 752. So anything that says target entry, that's one that I've pretty much analyzed. The way that I analyze it, so I go even deeper. The ones that I have marked up as target entry, what I do is I look at the list of trades. And so, for example, today's Wednesday, right? So I go down the trading days and I have my calendar open over here and I look at the days on Wednesday. So like last Wednesday was September 24th, right? I look at September 24th, I'm like, okay, does this strategy work on Wednesdays? It hit, right? So the last Wednesday, full TP, 2,250 profit. And then I go back to the previous Wednesday, which was the 17th. It looks like it lost here, right? And then I look at the previous Wednesday, September 10th, it looks like it won here. So I'm looking for a pattern here. If the pattern shows me that it loses every Wednesday, I'm not going to take the trade, right? I'm going to use common sense. If the trade wins every Wednesday, then of course I'm going to take the trade because it gives me a better understanding of like how the strategy works. Because what I was just telling you guys is this entry comes up every day, right? Every day at 7:10. Every single day, 7:10. If this trade comes up every day at 7:10, like I mentioned before, there's someone who's pushing market at 7:10. So obviously I want to be piggybacking their move. But yeah, so this is the trade right here, guys. It's starting to set up. It's going to be for a sell. So if you guys want to take this here, again, I'm probably not going to take it because it's too wide of a trade. It's just a little far out. Let me check the pivots real quick. I mean, it's not going to be a bad trade. This could be a good trade. It's just let me check what the overall bias is. Bias here is still pretty bullish. It's a good trade. I just don't like it when it's super wide because I don't want to hold on to it for too long. We had news over here at 7 o'clock. The news was, let me check the news real quick. News was, it was positive. So we got positive news right there. There's a data from before. All right, if you guys want to take this, it's going to be a sell. This is for YM. 45 stop loss, 90 point TP. 390 right there. This actually looks like it could be a pretty nice setup. It's just too far out. Like I don't want to hold on to this position for that long. What time is the next setup? So we got gold over here at 721. So here's the thing. The thing with these wider TP stop losses, the other reason why I'm cautious about taking these types of entries is that they're not going to work well with prop accounts, right? If you're doing a prop account, you have to take very low risk, and that's going to be a problem because the trailing drawdown could really screw you. That's why for me, I'm trying to aim for these tighter risk rewards, like maybe 40-20, 25-50. Anything past 50 is going to be a little tricky. I mean, this trade will probably hit. In the future with my hedge fund accounts, I'll probably take these trades because we don't have a trailing drawdown. But if you're using a prop account, if your TP is too far out and you're using you know, good risk or not good risk, but a little higher risk than usual, then you can easily lose this trade. I mean, or not lose a trade, you can lose your account. Like this is where it becomes a problem. If price gets really close to your target and then it reverses up here and it stops you out, then this is going to really hurt your account if you're trading Apex or any type of prop firm. That's why for me, I'm really cautious about taking these really wide moves because it eats into your drawdown. Like this trade would be perfect for like a personal account, but if you're trading on prop accounts, it's going to it's going to, especially if you're on a small prop account. If you're on a 50K account, this could really mess up your account. So I would say if you're trading on a prop account, especially a small one, stay away from these bigger targets. Try to go for the ones that have smaller targets because your trailing drawdown is going to eat into your account. Yeah, so Alad said, got it. These entries are Sean specials, exactly. That's exactly what they are. Ryan said happy to help with the test, but not sure I know how. LOL. Um, yeah. So I'll keep you in mind, Ryan, in the future. I think what I'll do is so some of you guys have already reached out to me that you guys want to help with the testing and just if you want to focus on one specific asset. I think once I publish, so first I got to publish this scanner and this back test in TradingView to the public. Right now it's only private, so nobody can see it. It's just me, whatever's on my computer. Once I publish this, then I'll sit down with you guys with a live session. We'll just have a private session together, and I'll explain to you guys my process of identifying these entries here. Because the process isn't hard. It's just it takes time. Like I think per asset, it might take maybe 1 or 2 hours to put it together. Obviously, it's going to be more efficient as I get better at identifying these entries. But at this moment, it's just a lot of work for myself personally, just one person. So yeah, thanks, Ryan. I got you on the list. I got Rashid on the list. I got Maria. I got Chris. I got a couple of you guys, which is going to be cool because if you guys learn how to use this tool, you'll be able to find your own edge, right? For me, I already have an edge here, but you guys will be able to find your own edge because you'll be playing around with the settings here. Like for example, for my TP stop loss, I use a couple here. I mean, I use a pretty good amount, but I use a couple here. Let me show you guys what my So for YM, these are the TP stop losses that I look at. So I use a 40-20, 50-25, 60-30, 70-35, 80-40, 90-45, 150. So I pretty much run through the data. I go through basically, I run my algorithm through all of these different TP stop losses, and then I try to figure out which one has the highest win ratio. So if you guys look at my list of all my trades, I've got a ton over here. Like the win rate, the risk reward is different, but the win ratios are very similar. I only go for the ones that are very high. I might even cut out these 60% win ratios. I just stick to the 70%. Because obviously I want to get the very, very best entries that come up. But yeah, I pretty much run my data. That's why like these trades are very accurate because I run my data through pretty much all of these. I try to figure out what's the best possible entry that we can take. Again, so this is the entry that we just came up, guys. See how market's going sideways? This is why I didn't really want to take this because if price kind of goes back and forth, it is going to I mean, it's just going to sit in limbo here for a while. So if I was to get an entry or if I wanted to get into an entry, I'd wait until maybe 752. This right here, let's see, this is the one that's currently running. I'm going to look at the settings over here to see how long these trades typically hit. Okay, so let's go to the list of trades here. So these trades usually take, so on the 17th, or no, the 30th. So yesterday, this trade only took 7 minutes to hit. But on previous days, like you can see, sometimes it takes over an hour. Sometimes it only takes 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour. Most of the time, it takes about an hour for it to hit. Given that it does hit eventually, but it's a little mixed with regard, and you can see the entry times here. Entry was at 7:10, sometimes it hits at 7:30. Entry at 7:10, sometimes it hits at 7:26, 7:10, 7:33. So it looks like the consensus here is about like 30 minutes. It's about a 30-minute hold trade. 30-minute hold to an hour. Sometimes quicker than others because sometimes there's news on these days. But again, this is the data that I'm pulling, right? I'm looking to identify patterns in these entries here. So the thing with this trade here is it's currently been running. Let me check the time. So this trade here has been running for about 8 minutes. So what I can say here, what I can say confidently is if this trade runs more than 20 to 30 minutes, then you can expect it to run for basically another 30 minutes after that. So this is like the first threshold for this to hit your target. It's going to happen within 30 minutes. If this doesn't hit target within 30 minutes and it just goes sideways, then expect to hold it for another 30 minutes. See, this is like the important stuff about like trading. It's like you have the data in front of you. So the key thing here is to just look at the data, right? The data is going to tell you what's going to happen. Like you won't be guessing, right? A lot of times you'll take a trade and you're like, oh, I hope this thing hits. right? You're like, oh, I hope this moves or something. You don't have to guess anymore because if the trade here, it shows it hits like within 5 or 10 minutes, right? It's been how many minutes now? It's been 10 minutes. So if the trade doesn't hit in 10 minutes, expect this trade to run for 30 minutes. If it doesn't hit within 30 minutes, expect it to hit within an hour. Um, you guys, this is probably going over your guys' head, but like I look at all the data points. I look at the days that it hits. I look at the points that it hits. I look at what time does it hit. I look at how long this trade runs for. I look at the consistency. I look at the drawdown here. So for example, here you can see there's like very minimal drawdown. The drawdown period is between September 16 to 18. It was a 3-day drawdown period, and every other day it was bullish. So again, I'm not in this position. I'm waiting for the next one over here. It's just too wide of a position for me to take. This one had a 70% win ratio, but of course it's not going to be 100. It won 12 out of 17 trades. So if this here stops out, it's completely fine. Um, because the two previous entries for today already hit. So you'd be up 4R for the day, and if this loses, you're only down 1R. So you'd be up 3R for the day if you took all of these. So this one over here hit full TP, obviously, for 90 points. Another long hold. This trade took forever to hit. So let's measure this one over here. Yeah, this took an hour to hit. All right, so this one over here didn't hit. Fine, I didn't take the trade, but you can see over here that the data pulls it in. So this is what I talked about earlier, guys. The data here doesn't lie, right? You can't fake the data here. It counts all the wins and counts all the losses. So this trade over here pretty much hit stop loss, but let's look at the entry that came up yesterday. This is the trade from yesterday, and you can see the data right there showed you entry happened here and it pushed all the way up to target. Going back over here to the previous day before that. So this is why I didn't like this trade. I looked at this trade. Look how this trade ran. It ran for about an hour. It hit eventually, but it runs for too long. So you kind of put yourself at risk when it runs for that long because then you're holding on to the bag for too long. Previous trade right here. And again, I'm just pulling the data. So because this trade here lost for the day, the win ratio is probably going to dump down a little bit. So it's at 70% from yesterday. If we count this loss here, it's probably going to drop down to maybe like 67 to 64%. If that's the case, it just doesn't meet my criteria, and I'm not going to look for this entry tomorrow. Right. So we'll see. Hey, CJ. Yeah. So CJ wants to be added to the list and Barack as well. And Jonathan. Guys, so message me on Discord so I can add you to the list. Yeah, message me to the thanks, Maria. So the gold trade is starting to set up right now, guys. The gold trade right here is setting up. Thanks, Maria, for the heads up on that one. So it's a 3060. This is going to be against, so it's going to be for a sell. See if I could watch it here. It's pushing up a little bit. All right, let me see if I can maybe get into this a little late. All right. So I got into it right there.
Order filled.
It's currently running right now. So this is for a sell. We got two trades running alongside it right now. So we got this one, and then we have another one, which is probably gonna happen a little later at 722, which is also gonna be against. So currently running in profit right now. Let me see where the target's at to make sure the numbers are right. The target is at 38, 9, 39. Sorry, the numbers are small. 3891.8, 3191.8. And then the stop loss is at 39. Oh, wait. Okay. I got it set up right there. All right. Trade's currently running around for gold, guys. This is the one that we have marked up right here. This was at, and thank you, Maria, for the heads up on that. I kind of lost track of time there. This entry was at 10:21. It's against. I'm gonna update the report here so I have the data on my chart. All right, perfect. We got two trades that are running alongside each other. We have this one right here at I just have a lot of trades here. Let me just try to copy this over if I can add this to the list. Okay, so these are all the setups right here. We actually have two that are running alongside each other. So we have I'm gonna try to separate these, or I can't really separate them. So this is the one that I took right here. This is my targeted entry. That is an 82% win ratio. And then we have I think the settings, duh. Yeah, so we have this one right here, which is my targeted entry, and then we have a couple here that are running alongside it, all at 721. There's just a lot of entries here that are setting up. So the next target entry is at 722. It's also against it, another high win ratio trade. At 70, it's 35.70. I'll just kind of line this up next to it so I can. I mean, they're going to be right next to each other. There's two entries that are pretty much right next to each other, both high win ratio trades. The only problem with gold right now is that it's kind of flat. But let's see how long these trades usually run for. So they usually run for about 5 minutes or so. Sometimes they run for like 10 minutes, sometimes 20. Yeah, it's just that gold right now is kind of in a chop, so this is probably going to go a little bit longer than usual. But let's see. See if I go back to the previous trades here. So let's see what the one looked like from yesterday. So the one from yesterday, I'm just looking to see when the market was kind of choppy. Um, this one over here is sort of choppy, not very choppy. Let's go to the day before that. I'm just looking to see where the consistency is with these moves. Okay, so like this one over here, this is the trade from Monday. See, the market on these days weren't very choppy. It was very directional. Price came down, came up. I'm just curious to see like what happens usually when the market is choppy. So for example, over here, the market was a little choppy, or not so much. It's a little bit, but not so much. A lot of these days, price for it was actually pretty directional.
Stop filled.
But I got stopped out. Let me go over here real quick. Looks like we just had a big spike candle. All right, so unfortunately, I took a loss on this one right here. I'll try to get in on the next one. Looks like the volatility just picked up on this one candle right here. It was going sideways for a bit, and all of a sudden we had a big spike. Let's see, was there news today? 721. Trying to look to see what was causing that. We do have gas stock change here at 730. It's a small thing here, but yeah, it's all good. Unfortunately, took a loss on that trade. Let's see what's the next one that I have coming up. I'm gonna try to take one more to recoup that loss. So that one right there, market was pretty much going sideways, and then all of a sudden it just spiked up real quick, which happens. All right, so this win ratio is going to drop down a little bit. It was currently at 82.35. Um, Yesterday was a win. So, I mean, obviously, it looks like whenever it has a win like that or if it has a loss, if it has one loss, it typically bounces back on the next trade. But let's see what we have next on the list. So, next on the list, we have gold is pretty much done for the day. Nothing else I'm looking here for gold. There's another trade running. So, there's one here. Let me see if the next one is still currently active. This one was another big one. It's for 45.90. Yeah, so it looks like all of these here would have lost. So it's fine. There's no it's just one of those trades that loses for the day. Like I said, there's no 100% possibility of the trade hitting, but this over here, if you look at all the entries between seven, yeah, let's just go back over here. Basically all these entries here, these are all against momentum. And these here, even though they do have a high win ratio, they all pretty much took the loss. I was looking for the biggest target over here, which was 45.90. And it's still at a loss. So it doesn't matter what your TP stop loss is. The good thing here is that I used a tight stop loss. So instead of holding on to the full 45, I got out at 30. So partial loss, right? Or not partial loss, but very small loss in comparison to what it would have been if I went for the bigger move. And now we're pretty much done with gold for the day. Let's go over here to YM. Next trade for YM is coming up at 7:52. So we got a little bit of time here. Again, these are the entries for today. So gold pretty much, or not gold, YM hit pretty much two wins for the day, one loss. And then for gold over here, gold hit one pre-market here at 420. This one over here lost, and this one over here won. So right now, currently it's at a negative zero point 0.5 R. Yeah, because it had a win over here. So what we're doing is we're calculating the trades to see how many trades came up for the day so far on my list. This one came up over here, obviously full TP, so that's a 2R. This one over here lost, so this was a negative 1R. This one over here won, so this is um, a 3R. And then this one over here lost, which was a negative two, or we're currently at positive 2R. So I think what I might do in the future, guys, is instead of looking at multiple assets, I might just take one asset and then take every entry with calculated risk, right? So I'll probably half my risk. Because the thing is, if I just stick to gold, I mean, I'd be profitable for the day, right? Because this one, and these are all 1 to 2. So one win, and I'll put the numbers over here. So one win is plus 2R. One loss is negative 1R plus 2R, and then one loss, one negative R. So total for today, if I took every gold trade, would have been plus 2R. So we would still be profitable for the day if I took every single gold trade. These are what the stats are currently with my list of trades. And same with YM over here. So let's go to YM real quick. Um, there's only 3 trades that came up for the day. So the first trade over here, that was a plus 2R. One loss over here, negative 1R. And then this one over here was or no, sorry, plus 2R for this one too. And then this one was a negative 1R. So total would be plus 3R, right? So it's just a lot of work to shift between two different assets. So I think what I might do is I'm just going to look at one asset. I'm going to decide if I want to do YM or if I want to do gold. It's probably going to be YM, honestly, because gold is just it's just a different beast, right? Gold is different. Although I do like gold, I think it's just I'm not used to gold as much, so I'm not familiar with like how it moves and whatnot. But for YM over here, I've been trading YM for a while that I think I understand YM a lot more. Um, But yeah, so if you took every single trade here for YM, you would have had one win, which was a 2R, one another win right here, which is a 2R, one loss here, which was a negative 1R. These are a 1 to 2. So total R right now, our multiple would be a +3, and then same with gold over here. There was one win, which is a 2R, one loss, which is 1R, one win, which is a 2R, one win, one loss, which was a 1R, and then total would be 2R. So either way, these two assets would be bullet or they'd be profitable. And we're just using the probability to our advantage. Right. So I kind of wish I took this earlier trade here at 647 because if I took this trade here, I would have been up 2R. And if I would have lost this one, I'd still be in profit. But the problem is I keep flipping between these two assets that I can't focus on one. So we'll see what we got over here. Let me go see what the chat is over here real quick. So let's see, PC or Sam said maybe the pre-market trades are good as there's no manipulation, less news. Yeah, that's the thing that I was looking at, Sam. So like the thing with the pre-market trades is I want to take the trades that are around no news. So for example, this morning I was really tempted to get into this one. I mean, you're on the Discord, so you saw it. I was gonna get up early this morning to take the 6 o'clock trade. The problem with this here is that we had news at like six something. So that's why I was kind of, or what happened is I didn't want to hold on to the trade until market open, right? 6:30. You can see the trade here did hit before market open, but I was worried that if I was going to hold on to this position, I can easily get manipulated here on the 6:30 candle. So that is why I skipped this one. And it goes right back to what you mentioned, right? Like the pre-market trades are cool, but the problem is like if you hold on to it until market open, which there's always going to be manipulation at 6:30, that's where it becomes a problem. So I try to get into the positions that happen like way before, or I try to get into the positions that happen way after. The thing with today's market is that we had kind of news that was scattered throughout the day. So we had news over here, which was at 5:15 pre-market. And then we had news over here at 6:45, and then we had news over here at 7 o'clock. So a lot of high impact news events that were kind of scattered throughout the day, which could obviously, push price around in a direction that we wouldn't want. But I was trying to work around it. I was trying to take a trade either before it, after it, like pretty much spread out enough to where we don't get caught in the market manipulation. But I'll keep looking at it. I mean, there's always going to be different opportunities over here for entry. Let's see, PC said, I recommend trading with your bias, even though you have this new tool. So that's the thing. If there's no discretion in this tool, right? And it goes back to what Visual mentioned as well. So the thing is, the profitability with these trades are based off no discretion. This is all systematic. That's why, like, we could use tools to identify trend, but the problem is if you use the tools to identify trend, you're going to miss out on a lot of winning trades, right? Like what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to take myself and my emotions out of the trade. I'm trying to just get into the position and and run it pretty much with no emotion. It's just the trade running as it's supposed to be. So yeah, I did think about adding possible trend to it. But the thing is, like, if you look at these entries here, so let's go back to YM, and I've looked into it. I've because I always trade in the direction of the trend. Like you look over here for YM, this trade obviously would have hit. It was in the bullish trend, and same with this one over here. This trade was against the trend, but it still hit. This one over here was with the trend and it still lost. So that's why I'm saying like if I was to avoid this trade right here because it was against the trend, I would miss out on this trade. Although this would win and this would lose, I would miss out on a completely good trade right here. Same with gold over here as well. So with gold, let me just add the pivots to the chart real quick. That's why like I can't add those because that would be considered overfitting, right? If you guys are familiar with algo trading, if you have too many criteria, it becomes overfitting. So same with this over here. See how this trade was for a buy and it would have lost? See, if I would have taken this trade because it was with the trend, I still would have lost regardless. This trade over here won and it was against the trend, but I would have skipped it if I was going with the trend. That's why, like for me, I don't think this is really ideal to use other filters because the data right here is based on raw data. It's not using any filters. It's just based on time and momentum in the market. So, I mean, in the future, yeah, maybe I'll try to fit it with another criteria. But the thing with this is that this is with no extra filters. Like the probabilities are based off no filters here. And same with the bias. Like PC said, you should still trade with my direction of bias. So let's take a look. This trade over here for gold was was bullish. Like you said, it'd be trading the direction of the bias. Let's take a look at that trade with or let's just go back to gold real quick. So again, this is like the same thing that we just talked about with the trend. The thing is my bias for today would have been bullish, but if I only stuck to buy entries here, I pretty much would have lost every trade for the day, right? Because gold over here, it's bullish bias, but it would have lost over here for the first trade. I would have skipped this sell entry that which would have won, and then I would have taken both of the losses here. So yeah, I mean it's there's what I'm doing is I'm trying to go based off the data, and it's hard to have like I'm taking the discretion completely out of the trade. So we'll see. I mean, maybe in the future I can probably incorporate that into the edge, but the edge right now is really good without it. So yeah, no, but thanks for the input, guys. I'll keep that in mind, and in the future maybe I'll input that into my criteria. The uh the problem with because so my code it was really heavy. I can't really add too much stuff to it because TradingView won't let me run it on their platform. Like to run my screener here, it already takes about like 40 seconds to load it up. If it goes past 40 seconds, I get an error. So I don't think I can overfit it with another tool. I might have to do it separately. All right, guys, we are waiting here for the next opportunity for YM. I'm going to be looking to possibly take this trade here. Let's see. The entry is at, I'm going to put the numbers here again to see what the criteria is for YM. Okay, 752. It's a 2040 TP stop loss. And I'm going to pull the numbers here again, right? I'm going to pull the numbers to see what to expect here. And the thing with trading, guys, is that you can never be 100%, right? Like I could have an 80% probability of it hitting and still lose. So there's you just got to eat the loss, right? If you're basing it off the probabilities here, you just got to eat the loss sometimes. So for me, instead of overfitting it with too many criteria, I'm just going to obviously eat this loss here and then move on to the next one. Because if the next one wins, I'm doing a 2R trade. It's a 1 to 2. So one loss is fine. And if I have a win, I'll recoup that loss. Plus I'll make profit on top of it. So let's uh let's see what we got over here. So this entry is at 752. It has a win ratio of 70.59%. 12 out of the 17 trades have won. Again, like I said, it's impossible to be 100% about the trade. It doesn't matter how many convictions you have or how many filters or confidences you have. The trade's a trade, right? If it loses, it loses. If it wins, it wins. For me, I'm happy with this probability right here because like I mentioned before, you need about a 33% probability for it to be break even. But if it's the probability right here is above 70, I'm okay with taking that risk. The next thing that I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the previous trade history, right? So again, I'm going to look at last Wednesday, which is the 24th. The trade here won. I'm looking at the previous Wednesday is going to be the 17th. The trade won. I'm looking over here at the 10th. The trade won. I'm looking over here on the 3rd. If I can look to the 3rd. Let's go back a little further. So I'm loading up more trades here. See the report's updating as we speak. And then looking at the 3rd over here, the trade didn't win. So you can see over here, most of the Wednesdays, it pretty much wins. It doesn't show a pattern here that this trade loses on Wednesdays. So I'm okay with taking that there. I'm now looking at the time of entry. So like basically these trades will pretty much usually runs for about 5 to 10 minutes. So entries at 752, exit at 810, entry at 752, exit at 8, entry at 752, exit at 801. So I could expect this trade to be done within 10 minutes. If it goes past 10 minutes, then in that situation, be careful with the entry because it it uh it might just kind of sit in limbo. So here are the stats for this specific entry at 752 for the past 30 days. It's still at a 63% win ratio. I can go back 90 days. Let's see if this trade has been pretty consistent over the 90-day period. So this is why it's, like I said, the numbers here really matter because the numbers are going to indicate, is this something that works short term or does this work long term? As long as it stays above 33%, it's going to be a profitable strategy. You're going to have losses, you're going to have wins, but this is still going to be profitable long term. So within a 90-day period, it's still at 39% win ratio. Obviously, there's some drawdown periods over here. The drawdown periods happen between basically throughout the month of August. So from August 11th until August 4th, it had a lot of losses. I don't know, there might have been something going on in the market around that time. But like I mentioned before, the edges don't last forever. That's why like it's important to look at what's working currently, not what's working in the past. Because this is we're trading on the 1 minute chart, so it doesn't really matter what happens that far back. But let's go back 365 days. I'm just curious to see if this specific time period, the strategy worked really well for over a year's time. And if it doesn't work well, then we would just shift it from with momentum to against momentum. I believe this is with momentum, right? Yeah, it is. So I'm loading up the data right here for 365 days. If you can only imagine what TradingView is doing right now, it's doing a crazy amount of data pulling. So if we were to do the data pulling for this right here, um, so this is how many candles. I'm just gonna add it up real quick. 1,440 times times this is how many minutes are in a day times 356. So basically, TradingView right now is calculating 512,640 candles. That's why it's taking so long right here to update the report. Because I did 365 days behind. So this is going to be with momentum. Are we looking to get into this here? Uh, no, I just gotta wait. Yeah, I just gotta wait. It's still profitable. So you can see the strategy here. It's profitable like barely, but the thing is you can see over here it goes through drawdown periods and then it kind of just corrects back up eventually. So it's not super profitable, but that's why your edge isn't at this exact time. You have to adapt your edge with what's working in the market. You can see there's periods over here where it kind of doesn't work really well. Just this specific time, 752 just doesn't work really well between, I mean, there's just periods here. So like October 1 to like October 30th, and then from November, it works really well. So it looks like on a month-to-month basis, it like works really good for 1 month, and it goes kind of crappy for 1 month, and it goes really good for 1 month, and it goes well for 1 month, goes down for 1 month, goes up for 1 month. And that's why it's important that like, you refine your edge every time you have the opportunity to do that. Anyways, let's go back to the 30-day. We don't care what happened, 1 year ago, because this isn't like we're not going to trade at 752 for every day for like the next year or so. We're only trading it for today. Wherever the probability sits, that's kind of where we're sitting at and what we're taking. Let's see. Sam said 60% win rate means if yesterday was a loss, today's probability is way higher than even 60%. Yes, that is correct. So yesterday was a loss. Damn, gold is going crazy right now, guys. Look at this big candle on gold. So I think our trade from right here, the one that we took, I think market is just being heavily manipulated with gold right now. Right. I mean, which happens sometimes. Sometimes you don't have any control of like what's going on, but gold is spiking. This just spiked down like how many points? 100 points. It's crazy. It went from moving 20, so the ATR is at 24 points. We're getting these big spikes over here with gold. So I think gold just might be a tricky asset to be trading today because I mean there's the volatility is just all over the place. Gold was doing pretty good for us this whole week though. Like this week we were trading gold and it was working perfectly fine. Oh my gosh, look at gold right here. It's crazy. So if only we didn't get stopped out right here, this thing would have came right back down to where our target was. It's crazy how gold is moving right now. Should have just held on to this position. Should have did it for the 100. Oh my gosh. So if I held it for the 100 here, I mean, I'm not going to, obviously there's no point in dwindling on the pass, but if the obviously the probabilities weren't at that, but if we did like 100 to 100 or maybe even 100 to 200, we would have survived the drawdown. It's all good though. I only got cut at 30 points, so it wasn't a big loss. But yeah, gold is moving pretty crazy right now, guys. I don't know if let's see, is there breaking news right now? Did the government shut down? Is it worse? Yeah, gold here just spiked. How much did it spike? This thing spiked 200 points within 3 minutes. Yeah, so today's a little bit of an outlier for gold, which is fine. I mean, we took gold trades for the past 2 days and they've been hitting, so I can't complain about gold. Gold's been pretty good to us. It's just today's huge spike right here. Now let's go back to YM real quick. YM is moving okay, so I'm not really too worried about YM. Let me go back to my YM chart. I actually have to switch everything back over. So YM, this is going to be a 40-20, I believe. Yeah, 40-20. Let me change my copier back over. Okay. I think I might just have to enter at market, guys. I've been trying to enter at limit, but I'm probably just gonna have to enter at market when I get into these positions because it's just impossible for us to get in at limit sometimes. It doesn't come back. So, all right, we'll keep watching it over here. Let's see where we're currently at. So right now, this trade's gonna be with momentum. Yeah, I mean, so Dow turns green, S&P cuts losses as investors shake out shutdown fears. So I don't know if there is any breaking news that caused gold to spike like that, but gold is all over the place right now. Let me check the list real quick. Is there more trades for gold that came up? No, the latest trade was at 726. So other than that, there's no other gold setups that I have on my list for the day. It's fine. I'm not even trying to mess with gold because this is a lot of randomness here. All right, let's go back to YM. Let's just focus on YM for now because this is the trade I'm looking to take. Looks like it's probably going to be a buy. So the trade with this here is going to go with my bias. So, earlier we talked about what the bias is looking like. The bias over here is bullish. So we do have a bullish bias. This trade could play out pretty nicely. I'll be following it here to see where we get in from. Entry's gonna be at 752. It's gonna be with momentum, 40-20 TP stop loss. That's gonna be the top trade right now on our list. 64.7% win ratio. The trade lost the last trade. So the probability of this is likely for it to bounce back for a win. So let's see. I'm gonna look to get into this here. Yeah, Visual said if you think NQ is crazy, gold is maniac. The moves are out of this world. Stay away from gold. Yeah, I know you talked about that the other day, Visual. I'm probably gonna stay away from gold. I'm probably just gonna stick to YM because I know how YM moves is my edge. We got this candle closing in about 50 seconds, guys. It's gonna be a buy entry. So if you guys are looking to get into YM here, it has a 64.7% probability of it hitting. Yeah, we'll kind of see how this trade here plays through. I'll be following it. Volatility here is a little low, but we'll see. Probably get in for market because it's going to move a little quick. Got the candle closing in about, and then I'll make adjustments once I'm in the position. So the target and stop loss. Candle's closing in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the trade is currently running right now. Try to get my setup over
Order
here.
filled.
So my target is going to be at 46,692. And so, okay, it's fine. I entered that market and it got me exactly where I needed to get in from. Cool. So I think what I might do moving forward is I might make some adjustments to I'll put so here real quick. I'm gonna make some adjustments to my risk so I can take lower risk. But we'll yeah, kind of see where it's at. So I might make some adjustments so I can take multiple trades per day. But anyways, this is the trade that I have running right now for YM. So trade's currently running in profit. Make some adjustments right here. I feel like the candles are a little off, but not super off. That's okay. I'm gonna stick over here. I don't want to have too much stuff on my chart. I want to have a clean chart to see where my entry is running here for YM. So like we went from the data, we saw that the trades will typically take about like 5 or 10 minutes for it to hit. So obviously I'm just gonna follow it through here. And we'll see where this goes. Yeah, I think moving forward, guys, I'm probably gonna stick to YM. Gold is a little too crazy for me. Although I did like gold for the past couple of days, it today just this kind of threw me off with how it was moving. All right, 7:55. We got 5 minutes till 8 o'clock. Just gonna let the trade run and do what it needs to do. And we'll follow through here. It's currently in profit 14 points. It's, I don't know, we'll see how the volatility here picks up. I don't really care about the volatility because the data shows that it's going to push at some point here. The push happens between 5 to 10 minutes. So let me just get the time here real quick. So we should expect this trade to be done within the next 10 minutes. I mean, we got a lot of time here. We're on the third minute. I don't know for some reason why the numbers here. Here, let me try to fix this real quick. Oops. I didn't even take that off. There we go. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but the numbers here are different from the other chart. I was trying to base it so that they'd be the same, but for whatever reason, the actual entry price is different on this one versus this chart right here. Like this one, the entry's at 651, and on this one, the entry's at 653. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care. So I'll leave it as is. I don't use any trailing stops anymore, guys. I just let the trade run to where it needs to go. The reason for that's because the probability here is based on letting the trades run. You know, if we move the stop loss and profit at times, then yeah, we might have a higher win ratio, but it's not going to yield to long-term profitability. It's got to let the trade run. Yeah, I think it's odd that the numbers are off by a little bit with the clean chart and then with my, I guess, kind of messy chart over here. Looks like price kind of rejected off that London high right there. Looking for it to bounce back up, possibly blast right through it. But again, I don't want to have too many confluences here or too many filters. So I want to let the trade run. So gold is on its way back up. Huge spike down and then spike right back up. So price push from this high point came down about 200 points and then it pushed right back up from here. Basically another 200 points. $234 down, 200 up. So for my trades here, guys, I'm taking half risk. This allows me to take two trades. I think that's kind of what I have to do moving forward. I got to take half risk per trade so that my R multiple here will make sense, right? So I can take pretty much as many trades as I like. Um, yeah, we'll see. But again, guys, I'm probably gonna keep my list to like mainly YM. All right, we got this trade currently running back in profit about 15 points right now. As much as I would like to move my stop loss in profit, I'm going to control myself. I'm not going to. I'm going to let the trade run. I gotta let it run with the numbers that we have here. Let's see. Hindsight is asking, is a stream normally 1.5 minutes behind the actual market time? Not 1.5. That's pretty far out. It's delayed about 30 seconds to a minute. If you're on the Zoom is real time. So if you're on the Zoom, it's real time. If you're on the YouTube, it's delayed about a minute. Sometimes faster, times it just depends on your internet connection. Maybe your internet connection in hindsight might be a little slower. If it seems longer than a minute, I would say just refresh the stream. So just refresh the YouTube stream and then it should pick back up a little more. But yeah, the YouTube is delayed. And that's the difference between being on the Zoom and being on the YouTube. It's just slightly delayed. If you want access to the Zoom, you can get it on the website. Just go to the website, codykaitrades.com, and then you can get access to it there. But yeah, the delay that you mentioned, hindsight, that's pretty far back. I've never seen a delay that far behind. I could see a 1 minute delay though. The 1 minute delay does make sense, but a minute point 0.5 is kind of high. All right, we're on our way to target right here, guys. I'm in profit about 30 points, almost there. Let's see. Yeah, my target is at 46,692. In profit about almost 40 points. Again, I'm just letting the trade run on its way up right there. All right, 5 points away from my target. Okay, I typically don't move my stop loss in profit, but I'm gonna move it just slightly just because of like what's been happening the past couple times with gold here. So I just moved my stop loss in profit. Here's my trade. All right, full
Target
TP.
filled.
Target filled him out. Out. What a beautiful day. What
Target
does
filled.
target fill, target fill, target fill. Okay, so that loss kind of rubbed me the wrong way and I made it right back. Whew, what a big day. Today is huge. Okay. So the thing with gold is I took lower risk anyway, so whatever. Um, and I made it right back. And it kind of sucks, whatever. I could have made a little more, but I'm up. You guys are gonna see I'm up pretty good for the day. And this is the power of following the probability, right? I didn't use any price action. I didn't use any support resistance, supply and demand. I didn't use trend. I used nothing. All I did was I used my algorithm here to identify where the probability was. Probability told me that the trade here was 60% or whatever. So it was at 63%. We're now at 66%. So it went up right there a little more. But wait till you guys see my profit. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. I knew I was a little bummed out with this gold trade because I was really excited that this was gonna hit. Um, this is why it's important to use proper risk. I use a 1 to 2. I use lower risk for gold because it costs more to trade, and I did a 1 to 2 here for YM, made double my profit. So profit on this one was pretty big. It recouped my loss, plus it gave me a lot more on top of it. So let me take a screenshot of this. My profit for the week is it's good. It's real good. Um, so what happened with we talked about this before, guys. I had a little bit of an issue with Apex. They actually gave my accounts back. So I have a couple of them back right now. You'll see that's why I have a little bit more profit. Um, I'm not going to go into the details if you guys know what's going on with Apex and my other accounts. I don't want to say anything here on the stream because I don't want them to come in. Ah, fuck, I just said it on the stream already. I actually have a meeting with Apex this today at 1 o'clock. They're gonna meet with we. They're gonna give me a gift. I don't know what they're gonna give me. They asked if I wanted to meet, and they're gonna give me a gift. And we're just gonna discuss some stuff. I don't know if it's because my hedge fund is like because now I'm considered, the professional trader as a CTA. So I have my application currently pending with NFA. I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the hedge fund to reopen. I'm currently just waiting for my everything to pass through. I got to pay my dues. The dues are expensive. I'm paying like almost 5,000 in dues to be considered a professional trader. I have to pay for dues for like individual plus for the firm, which is Cody Kai Capital. So I'm waiting for the NFA. If you guys are not familiar with the NFA, this is basically the regulatory governmental, basically the regulatory system that regulates futures trading. I'm basically registered with them, or I'm going to be registered with them as a professional trader, and I basically had to let all these prop firms know that I'm going to be considered a CTA, which is a commodity trading advisor. So now a lot of these prop firms, they want to meet with me. I don't know if they're going to give me, well, they said they're going to give me a gift. I don't know what the gift is. Maybe some special accounts. Maybe they're going to move me to like a real live account. I don't know. But it's pretty exciting because if they're watching, if you guys are on the stream right now, Apex or whoever is watching, um, you guys can see I have a pretty nice edge here. So if you guys want to give me some live accounts, I'm down. Okay, anyways, here, let me take a screenshot real quick of all of my trades for the day. So these are the trades for YM. I'm probably gonna stick with YM, like I mentioned. Uh, but yeah, I do have meetings with a lot of these. Yeah, you can go. Sorry, guys, pause. All right, so let me just put this up real quick, guys. I gotta get to my baby, Alina. It's my, I usually have daddy duties in the morning, so I gotta go take care of that. Anyways, here, let me post my profits. I'm excited to show you guys my profits for this because even though I took the loss on gold, you guys will see how much profit I made on top of it, which is now it's pretty nice. Okay, so here are my profits for the day. It's a huge day, guys. I haven't had a day like this in a while because I didn't have all my accounts. But yes, so here are my profits. We haven't had a day like this in a while, right? So this is including my loss with gold. I took the loss with gold, but then I took this win here with YM, and these are my profits for the day. I couldn't even keep it on one screenshot. I had to put on two. Amazing day, guys. That's crazy, right? This is including the loss, which I think this is why it's crazy to me because I made this much profit with the loss. So I lost basically a couple $100, a couple $1,000, and then I took the win here on YM and it doubled up my profit. So I made the profit back and then I made extra. So I basically recouped my loss and this is the profit on top of the loss. So if I didn't take that loss for gold, this is why I'm kind of bitter about this. If I just didn't take this trade here, this actually would have been like double. So I made about 640 for the day. This probably would have been 1,200. And these are my profits for the week. This is my personal account. So for my personal account for the week, I'm up about like 3,000. and then everything else is hedge or prop count. So pretty good day. I mean, pretty good day to say the least. Um, and like I said earlier, guys, I'm probably just gonna dial down on YM. As much as I wanted to incorporate gold into my trading, I think YM is going to be the best option for us here. Um, so we got Lila over here. She made some pretty good profit, 2,221. And let's see. Talanji said, yeah, YM saying don't leave, baby, 100%. Um, Let me add this over here real quick. So these are Lila's profits for the day. Nice work, Lila. I just need to check a couple more things right here. So Camo said so you have to pay 5K after passing the Series 3. So when you don't so you have to pay for the test, of course, but then you have to pay for your registration as an individual. You have to pay for your monthly dues. You have to pay for your initiation fees, and then you have to do it. Well, I have to do it twice because I'm registering as an individual professional trader, and then I'm registering the firm Codified Capital as a hedge fund. So it's just a lot of fees, Camo. I know it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. One second, guys. Let me grab. Want to bring Alina over here, show her the profits for the day. Here we go, baby. Yeah, she just woke up. A little tie-dye outfit. All right, baby, look. This is what we made for the day, and this is where we're at. Um, yeah, I gotta take care of her right now. But yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I'll try to get this script out by the end of the week, if not by next week, so that you guys can kind of help me with the numbers and stuff. But I think yeah, I'm gonna focus on YM and then we'll go from there. But other than that, guys, yeah, the algo is nuts, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy because it's all based off time, and I'll be looking to just improve our edge as price continues to move on. I was gonna load this up, but unfortunately, this thing's gonna take forever. It takes like about a minute for it to load. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I will see you guys here on the next live trading session. So, all right, guys, have a great